Welcome to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you'll hear about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Now, let's join your hosts, Spivvy Williams and Terrible T Guy.
All right, guys, welcome back to the next edition of Event Radio. We are at Beach Bend Raceway Park. We are at the NHRA Sports Nationals. We're having just a bunch of fun, going to do a bunch of stuff out here today to introduce you to. I got my good buddy, Mr. Daryl Keene, with me again. T still in out of the woods of being sick, so we hope he gets well real quick. But Daryl is one of the NHRA officials for a real job, and he comes and help play on Event Radio in his time off. But if you watch any of the NHRA broadcast, you'll see my buddy Daryl on the end of the track. He is actually doing the turnaround, the parachutes, and if there's a catastrophe, of course, he's one of the first on the scene. Daryl, what do you think about doing radio versus racetracks?
It's not too bad. It's enjoyable. Get to see some old friends and everything that I don't get to see a lot. And
sort of fun.
Wish I was back in it again, but it's that going expensive anymore.
Well, we just having a lot of fun. We're going to go through here, and we're going to stop and meet a lot of people, a lot of new people, and we're going to have some fun from the NHRA Sports Nationals. Guys, you're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, guys, we are back with our very first victim, if you will, from the Sports Nationals at Beach Bend Raceway Park. And leave it to the old fat guy to ride through here and find the prettiest young girl in the place, and she happens to drive a junior dragster. What is your name, ma'am?
Allie.
Allie what? I'm sorry.
Allie Croc.
Croc. Where are you from, Miguel?
Evansville, Indiana.
Well, that's just up the road. That's not far. Just go over the bridge, and, boy, we're right there, huh?
Yeah.
How long have you been in the junior deal?
Since I was 9.
Since you were 9. That was a whopping not very long ago, was it?
I'm 15 now, so it was a while ago.
See, that shows my age. You know, I'm just an old guy, but I am an old drag racer, so I know a little about this. Boy, the junior dragsters have come a long way since they first started. With you starting at 9? You have seen a lot of this.
Yeah.
How fast did your 9-year-old car go?
1290.
Okay, and how fast does this one go?
790.
A little bit of difference, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's just a lot quicker. You know, there's actually some actual race cars out there that don't run 790s.
Yeah.
You know, what about are you looking forward to maybe doing a car a little bit later? Or?
Yeah. After I get out of the junior dragster, I'm probably going to get in a big car. Well, I want to.
What kind?
Probably just a regular dragster.
Oh, okay. That's cool. I interviewed a lady, let's see, when was it? A week ago, I guess, huh? The Quick Fuel Muscle Car Nationals, and she has a pro mod, and she drove a junior. She started out with a junior, and she's in a pro mod now. And I said, boy, that was a transition. She said, not really. She said, it's a lot faster, but I learned all the fundamentals I need to know with a junior dragster. Is that about right?
Yeah.
So a pretty girl like you's got to have a million boyfriends. How many you got?
I just have one.
Just one. You only have time for one with the race car?
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand that. Well, he's a lucky guy. You're a pretty girl.
Thank you.
How often do you run the car? Every week or?
It's about every week or every other week.
Okay, where's your favorite racetrack? Here?
Yeah, it's about here at Indy because they're really nice tracks.
Yeah. Well, Indy's a good track. You know, I mean, they have fun there. Is there a point system or something that?
I don't race very much here, but at my old home track they did a point system.
How'd you do there?
I didn't race that much when I did the point system, so I did pretty good, I guess, for how many times I was there.
Do they still give scholarships and that stuff, or they got away from that?
I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know. I haven't checked into any of that.
So we're just down to having fun now, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool, lady. You having fun here today?
Yes.
Well, great. I think that's cool. We appreciate you taking a few minutes to be on Event Radio, and hopefully we introduce you to a lot of folks out there, because this little thing goes to a lot of places. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Hey, thank you so much for being on our show. Guys, we are at the Sports National Open in Bowling Green, Kentucky at the Beach Bend Raceway, our favorite place in the world. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Sports Nationals, Beach Bend Raceway, and I just can't help myself. I can come into a parking lot of race cars, and I find a pretty girl, and that's just the way it is. Plus, this one was not like the last little lady we had on there. She was driving a junior dragster. This little lady drives a full-grown one. What is your name, ma'am?
Kara Forbes.
Where are you from, gal?
I live in Horse Cave, Kentucky, about 45 minutes from here.
Do you really?
Yeah.
One of my best friends lives in Horse Cave, Kentucky.
Ooh.
A guy named Dennis Collins.
Okay.
You know Dennis?
I don't. I'm not originally from there, but I'm sure the husband knows.
Well, I'm sure he does. Dennis's dad, and if you lived in Horse Cave, you understand this. Dennis's dad's I'm sorry. Dennis's granddaddy's brother was Floyd Collins that got hung in the cave.
Yeah, heard of him.
You heard about all that?
I've heard.
Well, I never knew a pretty girl from Horse Cave drove a dragster.
Oh, yeah.
Really? How long you been doing this?
Well, I started in juniors when I was 8, so I've been doing it for about 20 years now.
Well, I'd say that's a little experience, huh?
A little bit.
All right. Transition from juniors to the real deal. Hard or not?
Pretty hard.
Was
Driving, no. You win a lot less.
Well, yeah, I can understand where that's coming from. But I talked to a little gal last weekend that we were here and did the quick fuel race.
Mm-hmm.
And she had made the transition from juniors to a pro mod.
Wow.
And I asked her, she said, well, really, yeah, it's a lot of difference, but the fundamentals I learned in the junior. Is that
the
about
fundamentals
true?
You learn at a young age will help you forever.
Really?
Will help you forever. And, what I learned in the juniors will help you in life in general.
Oh, listen, drag racing helps you in life in
general. So, yeah.
I'm fortunate that I made a living doing it for a lot of years, and I'm a lot older than you. But I made a living doing it for lots of years, and the friends I have made all over this country back then are still just as good of friends right now, even if I haven't seen them for 30 years.
Yeah.
They're still good buddies.
Oh, yeah. It's like family.
Yeah, they are. And your greatest friends you meet at the racetrack, and the racetrack teaches you a lot about life.
It does. I actually ran my husband in junior dragsters when we were 12 years old.
Oh, that's cool.
And about, 10 years later, we got married.
Well, you must have beat up on him a lot.
I did. It was funny. I beat him 2 times in one weekend. He has not yet won against me, so
really,
women
so
are better.
Well, now there is a little bit of truth to that. I don't know about women being better, but a woman's reflexes are twice as fast as a man's. That has been tested in several universities, in several studies scientifically. They're quicker than a guy.
Oh yeah.
So, and I always thought that was to get on me, but that's not really the way it is. Listen, lady, this has been fun. We appreciate you taking a few minutes to. We pulled up here, and this looked like a race car parking lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. You should see our shop.
I bet. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Dennis, you need to get to meet Dennis in Horse Cave. Make sure you do, because Dennis is an ex-World of Outlaw sprint car guy.
Ah, okay.
And a driving fool. Richard Petty has 200 wins. Dennis has 400 wins.
Wow.
So he is excellent, just as nice a fella as you've ever met. And his shop is in the old Chevrolet building.
Yeah. Okay.
Down there.
Yeah.
Stop in. You tell him the old fat guy here told you to stop and say hi to him, because he is a great guy. And if you ever need any kind of welding machines or anything like that done, he's your man.
Awesome.
I mean, he's awesome. He's wonderful.
Well, I'll have to look him up.
Well, I hope you do. Thank you so much for being on Event Radio. It's fun to get to talk to you about the race car, but it makes my image so much better with sitting with a pretty girl for a little while,
Well, thank you for having me.
All righty. Guys, we're at the Sports National Open, Beach Bend Raceway. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the Sports Nationals, Beach Bend Raceway. And I just can't help myself. I have a very, very soft spot for really cool roadsters. I like them, and I guess it's because I'm an old funny car guy, but I love the roadsters. And I've stopped at one that is just drop dead gorgeous. What is your name, sir?
Name's Larry Turner.
Larry, where are you from?
Columbus, Indiana.
Well, we won't hold that against you. See, that's being far enough north. It's questionable whether you know what sweet tea is and country ham.
Yeah.
You know,
Cross the bridge.
Cross the bridge.
Yep.
See, I mean, we get nervous when we go across the bridge, but that's okay. Your car is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, paint wise is beautiful. How long you had that thing?
Purchased it last summer.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Never regretted a minute.
No. We really like it.
What did you run before that, sir?
Super Comp. Before
Did
we
you?
went to Super Gas. Yeah, we had a 23, and then we went to this 27.
So you had a center drive.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
a lot of difference getting used to driving this car and that car.
Yes. Yeah. It's quite a bit of difference.
More like a door car here.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
Is it?
And you catch a lot more wind in it too.
Yeah. Well, of course, Marvin Benoit is one of our sponsors, the CEO of Quickfield, and he ran a Roadster forever. And that may be a reason why we like them. I don't know. I just simply, I'm an old funny car guy. I ran one back in the 70s. And I just like those cars.
Yep.
You know, of course, the funny car is a center drive.
Yep.
But still, this, it fits so many different places.
Yep, it sure
You
does.
know, you can run this event. You can run the bracket stuff. You can run the vintage stuff. And to me, it makes more sense than any race car out there. You know,
I really like it so far.
because the old saying, race cars will make you moderately wealthy if you're a millionaire to start with. That applies to all of them.
Yeah.
I don't care which one.
Like they say, if Dolly Parton would have been a drag racer, she'd be flat busted.
There you go. There you go. Hadn't heard that one, but I like it. I may use that later, but I like it. Do you run a lot of these kind of races, or do you run some bracket stuff, or what do you do?
No, pretty much just the Super Gas stuff on
Just
the
the
Division
Super-
3 circuit.
Do you? Okay. Doing good, I hope.
Yeah. Well, yeah, not too bad a start.
Points wise,
Yeah.
decent.
Yeah, we went to Indy, but we lost the torque converter, so we're trying to get back and figure out what we got to do.
Is there a lot of maintenance in a super gas car?
Not so far. I mean, it's
Drinking tea and
Yeah.
and rubbing it off.
because
huh?
on the Super Comp stuff, we never had to do that much. I mean, it was
Well, Daryl, my buddy here, he is an NHRA official, and normally he's on TV. You see turning them around and stuff, and he's helping me out this weekend because my regular partners have some surgery stuff. But he is an old comp guy, and he ran the. I told him I could never afford to do that. Hell, I had to do the funny cars because that was like being on drugs and somebody buying it for you, you know.
Yep.
But I really, we just talked. We went by a black car a minute ago, and I told him, I said, if I was going to do this again, I would probably. That's the way I'd want to go, and simply for the versatility, like we talked about, being able to do so many things. What do you do, sir?
I'm an auto detailer.
Are you really? So is he.
Yeah.
So is he.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. There must be a lot of dirty cars at your house because you sure know how to make one look good. That's all I can tell you, my friend. It is absolutely a gorgeous car. We will take some pictures of it and flip it behind this show if that's okay with you.
That's fine.
And I want to thank you for taking
Thank
a
you,
minute
sir.
or two to be
Thank
on
you.
Event Radio. It's always fun. We get to come out and we otherwise we'd have to get a real job if we didn't do this, and we don't want to do that. But we appreciate you taking a few minutes to be with us. We absolutely love you, Hot Rod.
Okay, thank you, sir.
And, guys, you are at Beach Bend Raceway at the NHRA Sports National Open. You are on Event Radio. Do not run off or we'll have to come hunt you down. All right, guys, we are back from the Sports National Open, Beach Bend Raceway. And we come up because a couple of reasons we stopped here. Number one, we really love dragsters. Number two, it's the perfect time of year for this particular car, the way that it's painted. This weekend, we actually honor the fallen soldiers that made all this possible, let us come out here and play and have a big time. And because of them and the supreme sacrifices they made, it gives us all the freedom to do that. And we have a red, white, and blue dragster and a pretty nice gentleman joining us on the golf cart. What's your name, sir?
My name is Jeremiah Hall.
Where are you from, buddy?
Evansville, Indiana.
Well, that's just up the road.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's across. It's across the river, so you got to know what sweet tea is and country ham and all that stuff.
Of course.
Yeah. See, there's a lot. We get nervous now. We go across the river. We get nervous. A lot of people, especially if we're going the north 65, because a lot of those guys don't know what that is.
Aww.
But how long have you been running this car, sir?
We have owned this car since 2009.
Well, that's pretty good. It must be doing you pretty good, huh?
It's not. It's been doing us a really good job. I've got to thank my sponsors, Firecracker Performance, Mitchell Transmissions out of Newburgh, Indiana.
Good. Talk to them good, because lots of folks will hear their name on this show, so we want you to do that.
Yes, if you need a transmission and you're in the Evansville area, give Mitchell Transmissions a call, 812-853-3286.
And that sounds good, because we need to see, with Event Radio, we go everywhere, and we get in trouble sometimes. So it's always nice to know racers everywhere, because racers take care of you, buddy. That's the way it is. So how quick is the dragster?
To date, the fastest the car's been has been 445 at 158.
That's pretty good.
We've been working on it. We did a little bit of work to the cylinder heads and camshaft this past winter, and we were just trying to pick up a couple hundreds to be able to be a little more competitive in the Super Quick Series. And so far to date, we've turned the car down more than we've ever turned it down, and it's running faster than it's ever ran.
Well, it likes that. It's old like me, maybe, and it likes to kick back in lazy boy chair. I perform really well there.
Yes.
You know, and see, cars are like people.
Yes.
You know, they're a lot. Do you run a lot of just the NHRA stuff, or do you run some bracket stuff? Or
I try to run, mainly we run the JEG Super Quick Series all across the Midwest. And then when we don't have a Super Quick Series, you'll see me either at Lyons Raceway Park, Hardensburg, or US 60 Dragway in Hardensburg, Kentucky.
Well, I know that one well.
I love that track.
Hey, you know, I'm an old guy, okay? And I ran there when I was a kid. Actually, I ran let's see, I don't know if I ran the funny car there or not. Maybe. Yeah, I believe I did. I ran a funny car there a couple of times. But before that, I had a big block 66 Corvette that was the NHRA national record holder back then. And I would run Hardensburg mainly because there was a little girl in the concession stand that was just a knockout. and I would go over there on Friday nights. Boy, I mean, she wouldn't have anything to do with us. But we made several trips because we thought she was just the bomb, you know. and we actually won some races over there. But that old Corvette back then had drum brakes on it. And it was hard to stop over there. I mean, I've been out in that field 2 or 3 times.
I've almost went in that field a couple times with this particular car.
Oh yeah, and that was before you had parachutes on everything. The funny car was a little easier to stop, you know, but and of course it went faster, but you had a little extra help, you know.
Right.
But I always loved Hardensburg. The fact that it was right downtown.
Yes.
I almost got hooked up with the Ford dealer's daughter over there too, buddy.
Oh.
Ooh. Did I screw up or what?
Hey, I can't judge you on that one.
Yeah, me neither. All right. Listen, my friend, thank you for taking a couple of minutes and being on Event Radio and letting us play a little bit. Thank you for a lot of things. Thank you for being a racer. Racers are the best people on the planet, bar none. There is unquestionable. Thank you for showing the patriotism in painting the car, the red, white, and blue. That's a big deal. A lot of people forget our veterans, and they forget just how important those guys are to the scheme of things. And, you know, I saw somewhere that there were 2 people that would die for you. Jesus Christ would die for your soul,
Amen.
And a veteran would die for your freedom. Right. And with this being Memorial Day weekend, we just couldn't resist. We had to have a little fun.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate being on your program. I just want to tell everyone out there, God bless America. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And please do remember what this weekend is all about. You got it, my friend. Guys, you're on Event Radio. We are from Beach Bend Raceway Park. We're having just more fun than a fat guy should have. But we hope you enjoy going along with the ride with us. And we're going to take a little break, and we will be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the NHRA Sports National Open at Beach Bend. And we find a gentleman that has not only been a friend of mine for a lot of years, but he's sort of now a celebrity. He has become racing royalty. My good friend, Mr. Dickie Ogles, this year's inductee into the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. Boy, that's a big title, bud.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Sure is.
You earned it, too. You earned it a quarter of a mile at a time.
I guess.
You're the only guy out here probably got 100,000 miles under your belt a quarter of a mile at a time.
That's right.
Well, Are you excited about the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame?
Yeah. I'm very, very honored to be accepted.
Well,
into
that's pretty good because lots of people, lots of places know how good you are, but those guys, that tells the world how good you are, and I think that's pretty cool.
Well, I've had a lot of people since that have come up and congratulated me that I didn't think even knew.
Are you charging for autographs yet?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. Well, we got that to look forward to,
That's coming down the road.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Claypool said that, I saw him a minute ago, and he told me, he said, hey, you can't just go up and talk to him anymore. You got to have an appointment. Is that
That's not right. He don't get everything in perspective.
Well, he sometimes has got stuff a little wrong. What do you expect from an auctioneer anyway? He don't even know how to talk.
Very true.
All right, he just talks too fast. Say that does mean a lot to you, though, Dickie,
Oh,
all
yeah.
kidding aside.
And to be able to do it while you're still alive and all, it means a bunch.
Well,
it really does.
I guess you know that you're going to have to spend a few minutes with me during that deal because we do the induction ceremonies up there on the radio. So I get to jab at you again, but honestly, I am so proud for you. It is unreal. There is not a soul that deserves that any more than you do. It is an honor that you not only deserve, but you have earned throughout the years. And I'm proud of you, my friend.
Well, I'm proud of everybody that helped put me in.
You deserve to be in. You should have been in a long time ago, in my opinion. And you're in there with a pretty good group of people. If you sit and think, Danny Sullivan won the Indianapolis 500.
Right.
You get in there with there's so many guys.
Earl Walter, Jack Roush.
Sure, sure. I mean,
them's high-dollar boys now. Let's face it.
Well, they ain't no better than you. They just done it a little different than you.
Yeah.
But they're no better. You have risen to the top of your game. The being inducted to there tells people that. I mean, they don't put no junk in there, my friend. And I'm proud of you. I really am.
An illustrious group that's already in there. I looked over it the other day on the internet, and I said, man, there's some
pretty good folks there.
You daggone right.
Well,
daggone right.
You deserve to be right there with them, my friend. And guys, if you've listened to Dickie a couple of times on this show, and we've had a lot of fun and poke fun at him, and he's good about that too. But make sure you don't miss the induction ceremonies of the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame, because we will get to talk to this gentleman for quite a while over there. And here we have to just sort of hit and run, but
right.
We got his public out here. We can't keep him from the autograph sessions. But Dickie, thank you for being on Event Radio. What is this, a third or fourth time or something?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, buddy, I feel impotent.
Well, I'm glad anytime.
Well, listen, it is always an honor and a pleasure to have you. Guys, we are at the Sports Nationals Open, Beach Bend Raceway Park. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, we are back from the NHRA Sports National Open, Beach Bend Raceway, and I thought I was having deja vu a minute. I pulled by here. I got two completely identical dragsters that we're going to take a picture of and put them on our archive page and flip it behind this show. But I have the chauffeur of one of those. What is your name, sir?
Jeremy York.
Okay, Jeremy, I tell you what, I thought maybe you were Happy Gilmore when I passed the trailer, because there's enough checks in there that are adding up, buddy, that, well, we could get several hamburgers with that, couldn't we?
Yeah, we could get a couple.
How long you been doing this, man?
For about 17, 18 years.
So it's not your first rodeo, huh?
No.
Do you? It looks like you run anywhere it's got money. You're sort of like a hired gun someplace, but because of all the checks, there's probably a lot more than what's in there, huh?
Yeah, there's a couple more floating around.
Well, that's all right. I pulled up next to one guy back, it was last year somewhere, and he said, I don't have none of them big checks. I said, you don't? He said, but I did win that $1 million drag race. I said, well, that's okay, buddy. You ain't got to have a check, Where are you from, Marin?
Muncie, Indiana.
Well, I know where that is. I know where Muncie is. Let's see. Dan Nemo is a buddy of mine, lives up in there. You may not know him, but he's an old funny car guy. Old Kentucky Gambler, Funny Car, and several of those. Nemo lives up in that area.
Yeah.
I sort of like it up there. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a nice place.
Yep.
Good little haul down here if you get through the Indianapolis traffic,
Yeah.
Do you run Indy a lot?
Yeah, we run there a few times a year.
Do you?
Yeah.
Do you pretty much run a lot of the NHRA stuff, or do you run some bracket stuff, or what?
No, pretty much just all bracket. We do the JEG super quick.
Okay. That, well, they're both nice cars. Do you ever get confused getting the wrong one?
No.
They don't have that problem.
No, I
well,
see
they're both purple chassis and same colors, and the only difference is the valve covers on the motor, and of course the motors are different. But I'm an old guy; I'd get confused. Do you ever pair them off, see which one's quicker?
Mine's a little quicker, but yesterday he ended up getting qualified for the Super Quick, and I shook the tires and didn't make it.
How quick does the car run, sir?
Mine's usually around 460, and his runs right around the 480 range.
Well, that's close enough.
Yeah,
that's close enough. You can have a little bit of a nap and be dead on.
Yeah.
Listen, my friend, we hated to disturb you, but we wanted to poke a little fun at you. I mean, the guy's got that many checks. You deserve being disturbed. You got a big bank account, my friend. You got to put all them in there. But we appreciate you taking a minute or two and being on Event Radio. This is a fun deal. This little show goes around the world. You got any sponsors you need to thank or anything?
Got to thank my dad. He's the one that gets us here to the races, and McGonigal Engine Performance, Wiseco, FTI, Danny Nelson Racecraft Chassis.
They sort of, I could just about tell whose those were. His stuff sort of shows. Yeah. Well, you got to say hi to them in front of the world. So you need to call them up and say, "Hey, I'm doing some good. Give me some more free stuff." Okay. All right, buddy. Thank you so much for being on Event Radio, guys. We're having just too much fun here at the Sports National Open. You're on Event Radio. Do not go anywhere. Okay, guys, we're back at the NHRA Sports Nationals Open, and one of my buddies that is one of the fixtures of Quick Fuel, I guess you would say, that probably has 100,000 miles of drag strip time, a quarter of a mile at a time, because he's been racing as long as I can remember. My friend, Mr. Phil Vickers, how are you, sir?
Fine, Spivvy. How are you today?
Hey, buddy, you talk to a blue million people a day on the phone at Quick Fuel. And it's pretty cool when they listen to the show and they know you're a real somebody,
Well, that does help. If they watch the show and see that I have done it, maybe they'll listen.
Yeah, well, hey, you have done it, my friend, and that's one of the cool things about Quick Fuel. When they call you guys, they don't talk to a bunch of Habibs. They talk to the guys that are out here doing this every weekend of the world. You know your stuff. You know what you're talking about. And you can advise them on how to spend their money, and they can do it with confidence,
We have screwed up about everything that could be screwed up ourselves, so we know how to fix it.
You're a racer, buddy. That's the way it works, and that's partly why you guys are as good as you are. You know more about what not to do than most any company out there because you've been a racer and you've tore stuff up.
Exactly. Unfortunately, as I'm getting older, I hate to count the years, but it's been a bunch of them.
Well, now I gotta play a little bit. First round last night, or maybe it was second round, or whenever it was, I don't remember. But you pulled up next to the main man, Mr. Marvin Benoit, the CEO of the company, and you laid it on him. What about that?
Well, he had a pretty good light in his last time trial, and he's got a real fast car, a good car. And I was on top of my game, and I happened to beat him.
Well, do you still have a job on Monday?
Well, I don't know because I'm not going Monday, but Tuesday morning I guess I'll find out.
Well, you're going to give him a day to – oh, that's right. Monday's a holiday. That's right. But I thought maybe you're going to give him a day to cool down, because you boys are serious. You're best of buddies until the light comes on, and then you hate each other.
Yeah, I don't care who's in the other lane when that happens.
Have you got an idea how many passes you made down a racetrack? Because it's had to be a blue million.
I have no idea. My other car, my old Satellite's probably got 5,000 runs on it if it's got one.
Oh, I know. It's been as long as I can remember. And the thing about it, there's very few people that have seen anything but the back end of that thing. They don't see the front end of the car.
Well, we were talking this morning that I guess everybody's a lot better than they used to be. But I won a lot of money back in the day. But, now things are a lot tougher, but we give it a good shot.
Well, I tell you what, buddy, you're going to have to start being like Happy Gilmore and start plastering them checks. You won't have to have as long as you've been racing and as much money as you've won, my friend, you wouldn't have to wrap the trailer. You just put the checks in the end, and you could cover the whole doggone thing.
Well, the problem is most of those checks back then were small ones, and they really have big checks now, but still, we did pretty good back then.
Yeah, you did good, and I want to thank you for being a friend for lots of years and putting on the show that you put on. It's a first-class deal from the pits to the finish line. And trust me, I really appreciate that, and thank you for the job that you guys do at Quick Fuel. There's a Blue Jillian racers out here that couldn't run half as good as they do without you guys.
Well, I appreciate it, Spivvy, and I'd be remiss if I didn't say one thing. The good friend of mine is not here this year. He passed away last fall. Rest in peace, Rusty Perkins.
Hey, he was, Rusty, when we moved to town and my parents went in the restaurant business, Rusty was the first person I met as a kid. And we were buddies rather. I don't know if you know how good he could ride a bicycle. Do you have any idea about it?
I heard that he
was a bad mammer jammer.
He was
as a
the
kid.
best bicycle rider there was.
He could. I looked up the first time I ever saw Rusty, and he's sitting on the handlebars backwards, going down the street backwards on his bicycle. And I said, "Guy, you're crazy," And then he did wheelies before, like on a 26-inch bike, before the little bikes that they do that on. Rusty was a great guy, a great friend to me. He did every rear end that my old funny car had. A lot of people didn't know that, but Rusty did that, and nobody else would touch them. I didn't want anybody else touching them. And I can understand your grief and your loss because he really is a loss to this whole drag race sport. Rusty was a great guy.
He was very good at the forward rear ends. He did stuff to them before there was Strange and Mosier even thought of doing it.
Well, he was good on his game, and Rusty was good on his game on everything, and he will be missed. I know that Miss Cherry and Scott miss him more than you can imagine, but we as racers miss him too. So, Rusty, old buddy, rest in peace for us. I know you're up there pulling a zero light every time, so we miss you and we loved you, man.
We did. I really miss him a lot.
Well, I promised I'd let you, wouldn't keep you but 3 minutes. See, you got to have appointment times to talk to Phil, and I had to make one, and it only lasted 3 minutes, so my time's up. Otherwise, he's like a lawyer. I get billed by the minute.
Right. They just started round 2 of stock, so I got to go.
We got to go. Mr. Phil Vickers, thank you, my friend. You are a superstar both on and off the racetrack, and thank you for being on Event Radio, sir.
Thank you, Spivvy.
All right, guys. We'll be back in just a flash, guys. Well, guys, what a fun day at the drag races. I'm telling you, got lots of cool cars, a lot of fast cars, and, boy, I tell you what, this has been pretty much a fun deal, huh?
Yeah, I really liked it. I got to see the amazing Silly Bear.
Yeah, we get to see our buddy Dickie Ogles, and honestly, we cut up and we go on with him and we kid him, but he is deserving very much of his spot in the Kentucky Motorsports Hall of Fame. He has been around a long time and made a lot of laps, and anybody deserves it. Dickie deserves it, I think.
Yeah, he got so many daggone Wallies, he got to sell some of them.
Well, actually, believe it or not, he actually has the distinguished, I guess, feat or honor or whatever you want to call it, that he has more Wallies than anybody in the state of Kentucky. And they actually asked him at the museum, at the Wally Parks Museum. One of them was so old they wanted to borrow it to put it on display there in the museum because they didn't have one.
I wouldn't doubt that one bit.
I think that was from back in the old DeLand days before they even had the Gator Nationals, and Dickie won that. He's won a lot of events that a lot of people are not aware of because they weren't doing them like they're doing now,
No, I can remember when he was racing out here, we flagged them off.
Yeah, flagged them.
And then if you had a set of Butyl Aeratars,
you run the rain.
Raining, you was automatically going to win.
Oh, yeah, I remember. I did that. I ran in the rain a couple of times. Which, boy, is that stupid or what?
Oh, I know. Now if it just comes a little sneezing,
a couple of drops.
They're over with.
A couple of drops, you're done.
We rained with wipers going and everything else.
Oh, yeah.
But I loved it.
Oh, I did too. It was fun. Well, guys, I tell you what, we appreciate you joining us for another edition of Event Radio. We really have a good time doing this because we get to meet so many nice people and get to talk to them for a couple of minutes and get to introduce you to them in parts of the country that you may never know them. You know, you might never get to meet them. And through Event Radio, you get to meet them, and they all turn out to be pretty nice folks. As always, guys, we never end a show without thanking our sponsors. They are the most important people to us. We couldn't be doing all this craziness without them. The great guys at Beach Bend Park and Splash Lagoon. Of course, the one and only, the guys from Quick Fuel Technologies, the absolute best carburetor builders in the free world. There's no question about it. The nice folks at Holly Performance. And we always say, if with as many lines as they carry, if you can't get a part for your hot rod from the guys at Holly, my friend, you ain't got a hot rod. If you go to any of the car shows and you look around at any of the really super cool street cars, more than likely the guys at Final Finish would have had their hands in them somewhere. Be it Earl's 55, which has never lost a People's Choice Award in any show that it's gotten into, Mike Manship's 409, that's absolutely beautiful, and countless others that come out of the Final Finish stable, regardless whether it's paint, body, powder coat, whatever you want done, the guys at Final Finish are the absolute best there is, and the awards say that for them. They don't have to say it. We appreciate them more than they know. Last but not least, of course, the Gearhead Gazette, gearheadgazette.com. Any event that you want to go to in the South, all you got to do is go on there, check it out. They have all the good stuff. If you happen to miss one, just stay back on it, and you'll get some results and pictures and all that stuff from it. It's absolutely cooler as it can be. But GearheadGazette.com is where you need to go, and jot that down, because they are fine people and they're on their mark when it comes to telling you what's going on in the car hobby. Guys, we appreciate you joining us from the Sports Nationals at Beach Bend Raceway Park. We had a big time. We want to thank Darrell for sitting in with us. He is normally busy with NHRA doing all the turnaround duties, and we kid him about being on TV more than Captain Kangaroo, but he does everything for the NHRA guys at the far end of the track, and we appreciate his efforts and his many hours of work down there to make the TV broadcast as good as they are, because he sure keeps them on time. As we always say, guys, if you have heard something that you like on this show, we would really appreciate it if you would tell a friend. But if you haven't, you keep that to yourself. Once again, guys, we thank you for joining us, and we will talk again.
You've been listening to Event Radio, covering local drag racing, stock car racing, motorcycles, go-karts. If it's got wheels and you can race it, you heard about it here. Event Radio is motorsports radio on steroids. Join us next time with your hosts, Spivey Williams and Terrible T Guy.